Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss. Welcome to our town. Brought my favorite son with me today, to be with you and I, and to talk about some fun things that are going on in the community around us. And of course, we'll work our way around to economic revitalization before it's over with, as always. So Happy New Year to the viewers. Happy New Year, son.
Happy New Year's, Dad.
Judah Daniel Weiss, my son, 17 years old, worked full-time for Mr. John McKee and McKee Pool.
Yes, sir.
How was the work today?
Long and hard, but work's always worth it with good company and good pay.
Well, you have good company out there, that's for sure. So you're not building a pool, you're fixing a house up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, a little cold, dig a hole in the ground.
Just a little bit.
All right, so we're here to talk about airsoft, and I'll bet other than about 5 or 6 kids who accidentally flipped by channel 2, nobody's going to know what we're talking about.
No, sir.
All right, so airsoft is a thing you love to do.
Yes, sir.
And I always tell people, they go, what's that? And I go, well, it's combat with plastic BBs. And people always say, so do you get shot? And I go, as little as possible. So I thought we would tell them what it is, what the game is, and what we know and think about it, and show them how it's possible not to get hurt too much when you get shot. So how'd you get interested in airsoft?
I got interested via a friend through high school. One of his families was marrying a man who played airsoft, and the word was passed to me that it existed, and it was a moment of clarity that I've sat my whole life playing video games. Why not take it a step further and actually get out and do what I do on my TV? And it's been worth every second that I've ever done it.
So I like to plug things when they happen. If you have a kid that sits on video games, you should be paying attention to this show right now, because this is a way to get them out of the house with their body moving, doing good things. Okay, so where can you play airsoft around here?
Our closest fields are in Junction City, Kansas, Foxhole Airsoft and Paintball. It's just off of Fort Riley, so anybody can access civilian or military. I'm the leader of the team that plays out of there. We try to build a friendly environment for all kids of all age and adults, and at the end of the day, it is kids and adults all dressing up in uniform and playing Army. That's at the end of the day what we do. Okay,
so I have a favorite memory. It's when we were playing at the big Matrix field, and Dad and 2 little kids showed up. And I watched you take them under your wing and go do things and protect them and put them where they needed to be and make them feel involved. And I was very proud of you that day.
Thanks.
Yeah. So what is it about airsoft that people should be interested in?
Airsoft it's a way to get yourself off the couch no matter what age you are. It's Call of Duty in real life. You get a physical workout every Saturday or Sunday, and sometimes it's a community builder where you get to go out and you get to have a 6-hour to 8-hour event with like-minded people that you can have fun with, you can laugh with, and it's friendship building, it's character building, and you can, I have a word I'm looking for. It's a personal experience. Every day that you go, something is different, and you get to learn something, you get to take away something from that experience, and at the end of the day, you build yourself as a better person.
So how many of the people who come up and play regularly at Foxhole are regular Army out of Fort Riley?
Anywhere from 15 upwards of our full-time regular players are active duty or retired military.
Okay. What do you think the oldest person is that shows up and plays airsoft?
Working for Eagle Communications.
I think he is too. So, but it's a lot of fun, and it really is quite healthy activity.
It is.
There is a lot of running, a lot of movement, a lot of both cardio activity and a little bit of anaerobic activity too.
It's also, I would argue that it's a mental activity, because in order to stay alive and not get hit by a painful little plastic BB, you have to know tactics to a degree, or at least have enough self-preservation to learn.
So we'll talk about what helps us do that. So I've got my little hand-me-down helmet. My son bought me about all my airsoft gear, so it's really quite nice of him. But I've got my little helmet. This is a face mask, which covers about that much of your face, and it's metal. And mine seems to get used quite a lot, and and you have eye protection here that goes in between these two, which makes for a reasonably good cover.
Reasonably.
Reasonably good for a reason, because there's a crack or two in between a few things that a BB can slip into, but we protect the important stuff. Mm-hmm. Now you've got a bunch of other stuff on your helmet there because, well, you're the leader.
I'm also just very into fancy things. This is a replica PJ Wilcox helmet, all by Ops Corps. A lot of modern special forces around the world use this design. Knockoff NVG. I've got patches.
They won't know what NVG is.
Night vision goggle mounting system. So if you were to have night vision or thermal, it'll clip right here. These are protect our ears from getting shot, and they have a little mic system in them that modifies and loudens the environment around you to be able to hear better. And I have a camera mounted on the side to keep myself and to keep other players honest, because sometimes if I feel there's a questionable situation, I'll click record. So if I have to show someone else a clip of something, I have video evidence of what's on my side. Because at the end of the day, Airsoft is also an honor sport. Everyone has to call their own hits. There's no paint marking like in paintball.
Right.
There's no color showing up on you. So you have to push honesty with yourself and with everyone else in the field. And to me, cameras are a great way to do that.
And it's kind of like golf in that regard, right? You have to call your own strokes. But this is a lot more fun. So, all right, so that's kind of the gear. Now, I don't know if they can see your pants and your hat and whatever we can see, but where do we get most of our uniform gear?
Between the two of us, Military Stuff in Junction City is owned by a couple close friends of ours. It's
Military Alley is the name of the place.
Military Outlet?
Alley.
Military Alley. It's in Junction City.
It's on Washington Street.
Washington Street. It's down by Jack and Dick's Pawn Shop in Junction City.
Across the road.
Across the road. They sell current and older generation combat equipment, everything from active duty plate carriers to uniforms. I have bought 90% of my clothing from that store. It's reasonable prices, it's great people, great service, and it's community friendly.
Yeah, very nice folks who run the place. The grandson is your age and he plays on your team.
Yes, sir.
So we've, he wasn't playing on Airsoft when we first went out there.
No.
So he's somebody who's been brought into your little fold.
Yes, sir. We brought him in as a day he showed up, and he had just enough of an idea that he wanted to do something better within this sport, and we gave him the opportunity to do so. And as so many young people and even older people that show up for this game, I had seen him grown and develop so much, and it's proud that I've seen my friend and coworker done so well.
So I have a complaint. So because you're like the leader of the Foxhole team, it doesn't really relate to you, but you know, you're supposed to tell the people in charge your complaints. Well, I got one. What it is so when we line up to pick sides, how come they always pick the old guy last?
You know, by the third time that you've destroyed the entire enemy team on your own, you'd think they'd learn better.
Well, there's a few of them, they do, but I think it's the gray that just throws them off. But so, having said that, we've made some really good friends out there.
We have.
What amazes me is, you know, you're 17 years old and you're leading the Foxhole group, and part of the Foxhole group is comprised of regular Army soldiers who are 21, 25.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, it's not bragging on you, it's really bragging on them that they will accept leadership because you didn't put yourself in that position. It was given to you. So, but it's a very friendly group. It is. It's a very welcoming group of people. They even let me come and play.
It absolutely is. We have kids as young as 13 and 12 that will come out once in a while and play. I mean, we are trying to make ourselves a community that is friendly and open to anyone who wants to join our sport.
I think it's one of the few times in your young life you've got to experience this, and that is the people who you become really close to move away. And so you never really had that thus far, other than here in this little family. And we lost, not only did we lose a good friend, Stephen, but we lost our best sniper when he moved back to Florida. So what was it like to meet Stephen? The guy has over 1 million or 2 hits on the internet, YouTube videos, right? So people all over the world know Stephen. But as a person, he was our Stephen. And he got out of the military and he went back to Florida, gonna go back to school, pursue a career. So good for him, but bad for us.
Yeah.
All right, well, tell us a little bit about how that went over the years with Stephen.
I first met Stephen LeMessurier on a weekend of Airsoft, and it just blew my mind because I'd heard people talk about him on the internet. I had seen his videos, and it's like, wow, I'm talking to an internet celebrity. Like, this is cool. This is awesome. And about year 1 of spending genuine time with him, I thought nothing more of showing up and hugging him or high-fiving and going, "Hey, Stephen, how's your weekend?" We got close. We got to be such close friends, and it never even dawned on me after that this was a man that has 1 million hits on YouTube and makes $500 a video. You know, it was just, he was my best friend. He's
a good guy. Good guy. So, and he's also living proof that you can have that crack right there, and you can slip a BB through that crack
at 150
right
feet.
Yeah, at a long ways, and leaves a hole right there for a little one too. So here's why I want people to know about Stephen. Highly skilled with a video camera mounted to his rifle. So, you know, Airsoft is what you make of it. It's not just combat with plastic BBs. For Stephen, it's how he's learning a career skill. He was in the Army doing one thing, but here he was probably one of the best videographers in our area. The video he shot, the video he edited, the material he puts together, people all over the world watch and say that is good video. So it is kind of what you make out of it.
Absolutely. It's an experience at the individual level for every person. Some veterans will come out, and we'll have people who were in SOF groups for years. I've had the pleasure of going out of state on several occasions and playing with actually famous people in real world too. I mean, we've had Rangers and SEALs that have come to join groups that have played with us. I mean, it's every walk of life can enjoy this. It doesn't just have to be military or people who enjoy firearms. It can be anyone.
So you mentioned the tactical component to it. As a parent, I can say that I have watched you grow in not only your ability in learning, but for me, watched you grow in your ability to listen and think that the old man might still know a thing or two. That was really fun, really cool to watch you go through that transition, and we did that together because of Airsoft.
Absolutely. I would say that over the years, tactics, the way I learned was hunting with you and playing video games and hearing you groan over my shoulder every time I did something wrong, and then your immediate judgmental response about it.
I did. Now, very judgmental responses.
Now, while I may have never acted upon those on my little controller, I internalized it and saved it. I remember the first time we went out together, and I came back after a game grinning, and you looked at me and said, "So you have been paying attention."
I think I said, "So you have been listening." So yes, but it's all the same thing. Quite evident that you were. So there's more dads probably watching than there are Judas. Dad, you got a kid that loves video games sitting at home, and you want to find some common ground? This is really fun. So you can get a hold of me. I'm quite easy to find. Dennis Weiss at Eagle. You can find me about anywhere. My son Judah, we'll put his phone number down here. It's 479-1903. young people, get a hold of Judah. You can talk about airsoft, and we'll get you hooked up with things that are happening at Foxhole, which is 21 miles away. Cost what to play all day long?
$10 a game.
$10.
We have $25 rental deals to rent a gun if you do not own one. It comes with BBs. So if you don't have anything to start this, just bring your sweater and some jeans, and you're capable of starting this. It's not hard.
Yeah, he said $10 a game. The game lasts all day. So $10 all day long is you can't go to anywhere and do anything for that. Very cheap to play until you decide to do all that stuff. Then if your son buys your gear, it's still pretty cheap to play. So not bad at all. All right, so economic development. This is what we started this program for. I've said several times, many times, probably on camera, economic development can be fun. Well, this is economic development that's fun. This is a business. The Foxhole is a business, and it's and the things around it. There are supplies around airsoft, the game of airsoft, that come into our area if money changes hands. This is something that you as a city father, you as somebody who does planning, needs to understand that we sat right next to Fort Riley, Kansas. There's 30,000 citizens over there working for the U.S. government. This is something as you would think of as the go-kart track or the bowling alley. This is something you can do almost anywhere. You can do it outside, you can do it inside. Certain person I know would love to have the old Alco warehouse, for example, but that deal's probably a little too big to put together. However, this is good because it gets money moving around our community in a healthy way.
Absolutely. We're buying supplies constantly to fix and upgrade locations on our field. We buy wood supplies, we'll buy plastic pallets. And then there's influx from the community. Every year they have a paintball tournament for three weeks out of the year. On Wednesday nights, people from all around the country will come and play at that. Mm-hmm. Money comes from different places, and in airsoft, it's just a very unique corner that needs to be built in this community and hopefully in others.
No reason we couldn't do it right here in Abilene, Kansas, is there?
Absolutely not.
Something like Eisenhower Airsoft Field wouldn't be the thing to do. Okay, so I want to talk about Hornet's Nest, and we'll give people a glimpse of the bigger picture. Okay, so you go out on Saturdays, and I go out once in a while with you. But that's a Saturday event. Yeah. It's just whoever wants to come shows up, pick captains, pick teams, and you go play. Now, there are things that you guys call ops, operations, and MilSim ops, and so every year Foxhole sponsors an op, and it's called Hornet's Nest. And so we've played in 2.
Yes.
And there will be another one in 2018 in the spring.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And that's where people from outside our area come, and it's a much bigger game. Mm-hmm. And it can be a 1-day event or a 2-day event and all sorts of things. So we've had a lot of fun at those. And that is, again, so last year there were 44 people on the Wichita team. I counted right as we stood there with our 21 people before the day started, that drove all the way up here to spend time in our community. So community developers know you even get people to come for whatever reason if they're here. First of all, they spend a little money, but second of all, they get exposed to your area. Mm-hmm. So tell us about ops. How's that work?
Operations is where larger groups of people come together from around the country, and it's called MilSim, military simulation. We reproduce combat as close as we can without any live shots being fired. We use more realistic gear. We'll have radio communications. We use procedures, rules of engagements. It's as I said, it's as close to combat as we can legally get, and it's a whole lot of fun if you go into it with an open mind. It's an absolute blast. I've had the pleasure of doing it here with you on occasions, and I've had the pleasure of traveling all around the country now for this. But locally, this year when we did our operation, it was in the springtime, and it was a rainy, awful night, and I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to a car pulling in like, all right, who's getting here now? And it was two guys from, I think they said Nebraska or North Dakota. And they're like, yeah, we're just getting here. Is there any place to eat or food around here? And I'm like, there's a restaurant just down the road if you guys are willing to go back. So I woke up the rest of my camp, and we all drove over to a small local restaurant and ate dinner for half an hour at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a community of people, and it's a family of people, because we form bonds that not a lot of other people get to have in the way we do.
So Foxhole had a team. We had 21, I think 24, 25 before the day was over. They started with 44. Who won that game?
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely won.
Yeah, so Stephen was here. He was a very important part of that win, but so were a lot of other people. It was just a lot of fun. It's one of those things that nobody gets hurt. We haven't had anybody hurt. I've given a little blood, but I give blood at the hospital too. So nobody gets hurt and everybody goes home, had a great time. So folks, this is our town. I wanted you to meet Airsoft, and I wanted you to know what it is, and give Judah Daniel a chance to tell you that it's a good thing for him and probably a pretty good thing for the old man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, son.
Thank you, Dad.
All right. Folks, I hope you enjoyed our Town show today. I always enjoy them, but I really enjoyed this one to have my son have our Airsoft gear here in front of you. If you have any questions, look me up. Be happy to answer them. I'm Dennis Weiss. This is Judah Weiss. We're hoping you have a great day.